But anyway, these decals belong to the old club and they're going to come off because the plaques are still good. And I'm going to put our new decals on, the WOLFPACK, right? So let's get going here. Okay, so we have the old decal here. I think it might be coming out in reverse on the camera, but anyway, it's not really important. So what I like to do is, actually I like to turn it upside down when I do this because the L's in this case seem to come off easier. I'm going to use this razor blade here. Any razor will do. This one works the best for me though. And you want to get a razor that you can get in there and get it at an angle, which is what I'm doing here. So yeah, to remove these, get razor blade in there, put it under the little section, pop up a little corner about maybe a 1/4 inch, and then just peel it off. Alright, the reason why I'm doing it like this, I like to peel it off rather than do the whole thing, is because it leaves the least amount of residue on there. And that residue can get kind of gummy when we do the final cleanup with the alcohol, which I'll show you right after this. But see, right now I'm pulling it off and it leaves a little bit of, just a little bit of residue. Like I said, I can deal with that. Alright, so like I say, the L's seem to come off the easiest. The other ones you gotta take a couple of stabs at it. Now if you want, you could actually do the whole letter. But like I say, it does leave some of that residue on the back. The smaller ones, usually what I do is I just do the whole thing. Right? Because they're so small. And they deal with the residue. And that's just not very much left over. But the bigger ones, yeah. This little part here. Alright, just do it all at one time. It's just as easy. And there goes the gear shifter. Alright. Okay, so there you go. Right? So what you have left is this little rubber backing stuff that stayed. And I'm going to take that off with some alcohol. Right? Not the kind that you drink. So get yourself you have a rag here, and what you want to do is be very liberal with this stuff. The more liberal you are, the easier it comes off, because you want it to be as much pure alcohol. This alcohol breaks down the rubber, and when you're rubbing it around like this, you get rubberized alcohol basically, and you don't want that. You want to be able to get as much off as you can without having all that rubber in there. All right, here we go. I don't know if that makes any sense. Okay, so you'll be able to feel the stuff as it sticks to the plastic, or as it becomes undone, because you won't feel these lumps of plastic on there, or lumps of rubber rather. All right, so I'm almost done here. Comes off pretty easy. I wouldn't recommend using anything else other than alcohol, because I don't know what paint remover or any kind of carburetor cleaner or any of that stuff that breaks down adhesives. I just don't know what it does to the plastic, and I know that if you get this plastic melted, then it's going to look like crap. And so it's easy enough just to do like this. Okay, so I got it all off. You can see that rubbery stuff. I usually come back with Kleenex, or this is Kleenex I'm using just to take the residue off. One of the advantages of using the alcohol is that the surface becomes disinfected. For all you people that are still worried about COVID, there was some rubber that stayed on there, so I went back and did it some more. Okay, now this is real clean. Okay, so there you go, the finished product. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a new decal on here. This is the decal. As you can see, it says the WOLFPACK, right? That's who we are now. So pretty simple. You just take the backing off this thing. It comes in the decals. They come in two pieces here, or actually 3. Okay, first you have the white backing, right? So you peel that off slowly because you don't want any of the lettering to stick to it. And what you have left is the WOLFPACK, all right? It's probably going to be displayed backwards. Line that thing up. I usually go about 1/4 inch from the bottom. I just eyeball it. You could probably get fancy and measure it. Just remember, once you put it on, you own it, right? Okay, now, I own it. Rub this out, grab one of the corners, peel it back. Alright, comes off pretty easily. Try not to pull any letters with it. They usually don't come off because, like I say, once it's on, it's on. There you go. Now, for an added little touch, what I do is I still got these things hanging around, right? They got the old logo on them, but there's got this lettering here that I don't like. So what I'm gonna do is take my scissors and just cut that off. And I'm just only gonna be using this part now. And I remove the backing on this. And I act like it's supposed to be there. All right, that looks good just like that. It's at an angle, that's fine. And there's one more little touch that I do. Okay, so this is one of our old lettering from the old club, but there's one piece on here that I like, and it's the shifter, right? So I'm going to take this shifter and cut it out. I'm going to use it. And if anybody wants these, I have a few of them left over, all right? And rather than donating them to some cause, what I do is I just cut that shifter out. It's a decal too. All right, so I'm going to do exactly the same thing that I did with our club decal. Take the backing off. There's a shifter. I'm going to put it right here. I think right here over the L. Oh, over the L. There it is. All right, now we got a shifter. Take the paper off, and presto. Now that's recycling. All right, so here we go. New club decal, the WOLFPACK Car Club. America 250 years, got a shifter, everything's been recycled, just like brand new. So off we go, we're off and rolling with this, and from now on we'll be displaying these in our windows of the cars. On the dashboard works really well. I usually put a couple holes, one here and one here, and then I get a lanyard and I make it, put the lanyard there so that I can hang it from my rearview mirror. You might have to adjust your lanyard a little bit so I get the right height, but they work really good, or a piece of string, whatever works for you. All right, how's that? Okay, Wolfies, let's go do some cruising.